Alright, so this is going to be my review of Darth Vader, Shadows and Secrets. This was a pretty goddamn good comic. This is, of course, the second volume of the Darth Vader ongoing series from Marvel by Kieran Gillen and artwork by Salvador Larroca. Ah, man. If you don't think this is one of the best comics, not just in Star Wars, but Marvel in general, then I don't know what to tell you. I honestly don't know what to say to you to convince you otherwise, because this comic is pretty freaking sweet. I gotta tell you guys that this is... If you're not reading this, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Jason Aaron's Star Wars can be hit and miss, but continuously the Darth Vader comic is just nothing short of fantastic. It is just beautifully done. So this comic covers issues 7 through 12, and in this story, Vader has been given tongue-tied. He's been given a new, I guess you could say, correspondent or agent to work with, and at the same time, he has to cover up his tracks because he's involved in a robbery. His assistant, Dr. Afra, as well as a few bounty hunters, committed and stole Imperial credits that they stole from somebody else. So the whole part of this story, rather than the first story arc, which was kind of it had one or two standalone stories, but then it kind of got a little more cohesive when the issues went on. But yeah, in this one, it's a straight-up cohesive story of Vader trying to cover his tracks and make sure no one realizes, hey, I just stole from the very people I work for. I quintessentially embezzled my own empire. This could be bad. Also, Vader still has to deal with the rivals, the other rivals created to serve the Emperor. We've got the twins. We've got Commander Carbon, who is this Mon Calamari, who's like an updated General Grievous. We've also got... We have a few others in here, and I know this is kind of a build-up to Vader Down at the end, but yeah, I'm going to try... When Vader Down comes out in trade, I very much look forward to that, because it's probably from what I'm told, it's nothing short of fantastic. But yeah, Kieran and Larroca still give an excellent story revolving around Vader, and it's really interesting, because some people may say, well, what can you do with Vader that, as an ongoing series? What could you honestly do with Darth Vader that would be considered to be interesting to the masses? What can you do that doesn't, deviate from his character? And Gillen and Larroca continue to do so, giving Vader a supporting cast, because if it was just people, and I think my good friend Ivan Krolo said it best in his review, where if you just had Vader surrounded by Imperial agents who are terrified of him, it would get really boring. But if you have people who can be intelligent and stand up to Vader, but at the same time still have that fear of him, I think it would be some interesting chemistry, and that's what you get with Afra, as well as the new Imperial agent he's working with called Thanoth. I think that's how you say his name. But Imperial Inspector Thanoth is a very interesting character, because he's not like this young up-and-coming young agent. No, he's a very old, grizzled man, and he walks around with a cane. He's clearly beat up, and he gets a little obsessive. That's what I really like about this character, is that he's supposed to be, like, I guess you could say, the antagonist, even though him and Vader are forced to work together by Grand General Tag. But in here, you follow Vader, and he does have... It's almost like they have some kind of respect for one another in some cases. And I love Thanoth because he's very much like an Imperial Sherlock Holmes character, where he can easily detect something just by glancing at it. And as well as he's very intelligent, but no one seems to really give him a lot of credit, because they look at him as like, oh, you're just some old cripple who thinks he's really smart. You don't know how to use a weapon. And Thanoth has to prove himself, as well as to Vader, that he's not like that. And I really do like that they play this kind of really just dangerous game between one another, even though they're working together, and Vader is trying to evade his actions, because he knows if Thanoth finds out, he's going to have to kill him, and then Tag's going to find out, hey, this guy wasn't a traitor, so why did you kill him? And then everything else would just turn to shit around Vader. So Vader has to be it has to be clever on his end. And that's what I really like here, and this is what I've loved about from Karen Gillan's Darth Vader series, is that it clearly shows that Vader is intelligent. You know, a lot of people in the Star Wars universe, when they first see Vader, and some people in the outside of Star Wars look at Vader and think he's some big dumb brute. He's some big, just this hulking tank who's just a fist for the Emperor. Where in turn, he's actually incredibly intelligent, and people continuously underestimate him. And it shows here when he's pretty much playing chess with everybody else around him, more or less. We get more of the twins, Mati and Anion. I think I'm saying their names right. But those two are complete assholes, and I understand that later on in the comics Vader deals with those two. But I'm very much looking forward to seeing them further on, because they're clearly not... They're clearly just bullheaded and incredibly aggressive, whereas Vader has been shown to be like that, but at the same time, he studies his opponents, whereas these guys just run in and kill everything. Carbon's also a pretty cool character. I understand he plays a bigger role in the second volume of the Star Wars main comic, but I haven't been... which has been okay, but yeah, more or less it's just for the second volume as well as this volume. It kind of builds up towards the end. The ending issues for both are apparently building up for Vader down, so, yeah. But on the story as a whole, you have all these great characters, as well as Afra doing some work outside for Vader. Of course, the theft of all those credits from the gang that the Empire confiscated from, which is also kind of cool, because we get some new bounty hunter characters along with Afra. We do get Bosk in here, but we also get IG-90 and B-Box, who are... awesome. I love their dialogue. It almost plays up like an Ocean's 11 in space kind of story in that whole issue where they're stealing all the credits. And continuously, the two of the funniest characters in here are 000 and BT. God, those two droids are great. I think I like them more than C-3PO and R2-D2, honestly. I honestly think I like those two more than the actual two droids they're parroting, which is hilarious to no end. But yeah, there's also a bit of a story with Afra in another mission where she's investigating more for Vader to look for Luke Skywalker, and learning that there was a mortician on Naboo who more or less examined Padmé's body, and in there we discover, she does a little digging, and the mortician says, we had to make it look like she was still pregnant, even though she gave birth to a son. And there's also this great moment, there's this great panel, where he has this look of, they just think they have a son. And it's you can interpret that, they just know about the son, they don't know about the daughter. So, I'm going to have to give up one, but that doesn't mean the other one's still safe. So that's what I like, is that, this is what I love also about this series. Not just from Vader, but from other characters themselves. You can just tell by expressions that, you can tell what these characters are thinking just by their expressions alone. Even though, admittedly, Salvador Larroca's artwork in the comics themselves are, facial expressions. He can do machines and aliens really well, but when it comes to human expressions, they're a little bit But he makes Vader look amazing in every shot. And even though Vader, just has the helmet over his face, he can actually... Larroca, as well as Gillian, managed to convey a lot of emotions just by Vader looking at something or just gesturing to something. It's just a beautiful comic. Yeah, so what more can I say? This is this ongoing Vader comic is just amazing. If you haven't been reading it, then pick up the trades and start reading now. Yeah. So, hope you all enjoyed this review, and once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.